Welcome to Mission Morning.
Good morning. I'm in this beautiful garden surrounded by fruit trees, and there's so much good to be had. This beautiful land where you can plant and reap a harvest. And it reminds me of this wonderful situation. Jesus had just finished talking with the Samaritan woman at the well. You know the story from John chapter 4. And it says, after his disciples rejoined him, and they had gone to get him some food. And when they asked him, Rabbi, why don't you eat something? It says, he said to them, I have food to eat that you know nothing about. Then his disciples said to each other, could someone have brought him food? My food, said Jesus, is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. Do you not say, 4 months more and then the harvest? I tell you, open your eyes and look at the fields. They are ripe for harvest. That's John chapter 4, reading from verse 31 down to 35. My food, said Jesus, is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. Jesus said to his disciples that you are able to look and tell the seasons. You're able to identify what's going on. You can look and say, hey, just 4 months more, as they look out for the harvest from the land. Even as I stand here in these beautiful fields, looking at the potential harvest around, do I see the harvest of souls that are waiting to be won to the Lord? Because Jesus said, look, the food that I have, the food what gives me satisfaction, what brings me hope, what gives me pleasure to complete is not to satisfy myself, but to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. Wow, that's challenging, because as we are on the mission, do we think about what that means for us? Jesus looked out onto the crowds in Jerusalem and said, look, they are harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. And he looked and he said, look, the fields are ripe. They're white, ready to be harvested. But we need to ask God to send workers out into his field. Now, when we go out into the field, we've also got work to do. The harvest is not harvested unless each individual fruit is focused on, is identified, is helped to become a harvest for God. Open your eyes and look at the fields. It's ripe for harvest. Will we do what it takes to finish his work? Will we do what it takes to do the works of him who sent us into this mission and to finish his work? Wherever we are as disciples of Jesus Christ, we are a part of that mission for God. God has called us. He has redeemed us. He has saved us from ourselves. And he has sent us out into all the world, wherever we are, to make disciples of all the nations, to teach them, to help them, to disciple them to come to him, to baptize them, and to continue to teach them to obey. There is work to be done. Life here on earth is not just about trying to focus on our blessings and the things that we want to satisfy ourselves. My food, Jesus said, to do the work of him who sent me, to do his will, and to finish his work. We can only finish his work if we're contemplating the harvest. Are you contemplating the harvest today? As you go about your day, as you go about your week, as you live as a disciple of Jesus on his mission, let us be satisfied only when we are focusing on the will of our Lord and finishing his work, because that's what we have been sent to do. This is challenging and encouraging as always. I hope this encourages you this week on the mission.